Hey guys, what's happening? So once I got back into CB radios and I started dialing in my car here, I've actually had to start dealing with a lot of different electrical noise issues. Like, this is a much more powerful radio than your typical 4-watt CB radio. That's a AT-6666Pro. And let me show you some interesting issues I'm having with noise. What's funny is it actually made me completely reevaluate this whole truck. Even though I've never had a problem with it, you know, I mean, I didn't seem like I had a problem with noise. But now I'm starting to realize that maybe I do. I need to shield these wires. So, running a Holley HP EFI. Originally it was a Terminator, but then, you know, Terminator, and the original Terminator was just Holley HP. So what we're looking at here is fuel pressure here. Take a look at that. I turn the radio on. So the harness goes up. I mean, the ECU is back over there under the dash over here, but then the harness comes up and around and goes to the front of the engine. That feeds the fuel injectors, the IAC, all the stuff up front. I'll show you too. Let me show you this real fast. Alright, so what you're looking at is the fuel pressure. So, I mean, it's probably going to be putting out about 80-90 watts. Audio test, audio test, audio test. Do you see that right there? Closer look. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Like, I don't really think that's actually messing with the actual fuel pressure itself. Like, this is actually a regulated return. So this really just is like a, for me, for my own personal, so I know what my fuel pressure is. You don't actually have to have one of those to make this thing work. Yeah, look at that. Boom. But that's the only sensor that I see that's affected. Here's the firewalls right here. Let me show it to you. Alright, so I guess this will be part one, so I'm going to be troubleshooting it. So first I'm going to try some Ferrites, and then I might wrap the whole harness in like Faraday tape. But this is my fuel pressure regulator back here, and then that's the sensor right there, and it feeds back, and it feeds into my, well, that one harness feeds all my fuel injectors, everything up here in the throttle body. But yeah, I don't want to be like, well, I mean, I've tried driving on the street, and it didn't actually stall the car out or anything, and it didn't stumble at all when I was doing that. It just seemed to affect the, what's it called? Just the sensor. I don't feel like I lost fuel pressure. So, and then here's the ECU right there. I might wrap these in Faraday. That's the audio wires. That's all solved though. And I already wrapped this a Ferrite in here, but if you can see these wires right here, these are all the sensor inputs, outputs. So I might put a couple Ferrites on here to see if that makes any difference. So I don't know if it's actually going, well, we would have to be coming because it's getting feedback from that sensor, right? It's getting feedback from the sensor, and that goes into the actual ECU and then back out the ECU, back through the CAN bus up to that gauge right there. So I don't know whereabouts in the system that it's picking the EFI up, or like how I can stop it. So, I mean, obviously I think if I wrap the harness going right to it with the Faraday tape, it'd probably fix it. You know, I didn't really hear a lot about this HP ECU getting a lot of electrical noise issue, but I know the Sniper has a lot of issues with electrical noise because the computer itself is actually in the throttle body inside the engine bay, right next to a bunch of ignition wires, high voltage ignition wires. So let me wrap those in, what's it called, Ferrites, see if it makes any difference. Alright, there's the Ferrite. We might be able to see that or not, but so yeah, I mean, if I can just see that on the fuel pressure gauge, I'm just curious to see what it's actually doing on the whole ECU, you know? I mean, I'm sure I'm sending all kinds of noise back in there. I need to figure out if there's like a scope. I mean, I guess I could hook up my oscilloscope and see if I could see noise on the wire. But, AC ripple or something. Alright, looking to see that. I don't want the light to blowed out, but, alright, so those are the Ferrites right there. I couldn't put this one all in one. I had to kind of separate into two. But I kept the harnesses separate. You know, it actually has to be coming from the gauge into the ECU, because if it was actually messing with the CAN bus, then the whole thing would be messed up, because the whole thing runs on CAN bus. So every single sensor in there would be all jacked up and doing weird stuff. Alright, so this will just be part one, so if this doesn't work, then, like I said, I might have to probably take the whole harness out and wrap it with Faraday tape or something. Grounded Faraday tape. Alright, so 65 PSI, field pressure, channel 19, AM. Audio test, 1, 2. Well, got a little bit better, I think. Didn't get down to the 30s. 1, 2, 1. A little 30s for a second, but alright, what do you guys? Let me know down below, comments below, what you think. Faraday tape. Where else? I mean, where would the? I mean, the box is grounded. I have that grounded right to the frame. So besides the wire that goes back to the battery, I have this thing grounded right to the frame or the body. Is it coming from the antenna wire or is it backfeeding power? Right? Because if the CAN bus was affected, it would be messing everything up. It wouldn't just be messing up one sensor. The whole thing would be jacked up. I mean, because CAN bus is just a communications protocol that runs this thing right here. That all the information about all the sensors are going over the CAN bus wire. So they'd all be affected at the same time. Well, I don't know. Alright guys, let me know.